This is part 2-ish to the fixing bike series. There were some technical difficulties in the last video, so we could not continue, so we had to make a part 2. Jake, would you like to continue?
Yes, so on my bike I have a I don't know what it's called, but disc brakes. And what I like to do sometimes is take my front tire off. If you have a quick release, this is much easier for you because you can just pop it off like so.
What if you do not have a quick release, Jake?
You can find a wrench like this.
Does it have to be a certain size?
I don't know what size.
Okay, so does it vary per bike?
Yes.
Okay, so the size varies per bike.
And you would just go like, if let's say this wasn't a quick release, there would be a bolt here, and you would have to twist it like that until the bolt comes off or gets loose.
Okay, so now what do we do once the tire's off?
So sometimes what I like to do is grab same rag, dirty
white rag. Remember, it has to be white.
I like to just clean off my forks because mine are new and I want to keep them looking nice.
Is there anything that you do to tune your shocks? Or is there anything you can do to tune your shocks?
There is. I'm going to leave a video made by Seth Bike Hacks about, he talks about this all. I personally, I know what, but I just don't have the things to do it right now. And
so we'll put that in the description for you. It'll be a link to this video.
Bike Hack.
Make sure you drop a sub to him. And if you're feeling nice today, drop a sub to us. Maybe even a like.
And if you could tell him to sub to us, that would be an honor.
Yeah, I would. Just spam it in his comments.
Please. And what you want to do, you just get off all the dirt, because I don't like my shocks very dirty.
Would it affect the shocks if they're dirty?
No, it doesn't affect them, but it just, I don't know, for me, I just don't like them dirty. Also, and then once you're done that, you put the rag anywhere. Doesn't matter.
Don't throw it on your heater.
Yeah. So if you see these pads right here, so right in there.
Yeah.
Your disc, this part,
yeah,
has to go in that space, and if it's not, your tire is not going to work right or go
What
on.
if you think that it's...
Again?
Oh, we're good. Sorry about that. Our camera's very finicky.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, weird.
We'll
Just continue on, Jake. Continue on what you were doing.
And if you can't get it on, and if you're not an adult, and you have, or your parents are free, ask them to help you, because I bet they can help you.
Also, we would recommend doing this with parental supervision.
Yes, because you don't want to hurt yourself.
We're professionals.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I am. Maybe not you.
I'm the cameraman. That's why I'm here. Although I do know some things.
Yes.
Okay, so what you doing there with that back tire?
So if you come here, see how it is very wobbly? If you look at it straight like this. Can you see that on camera? Yes, you can. Here, come right here. And this is on the pedal. So, like that.
See how this is incredibly wobbly? So
be,
what do we do?
It could be two things.
Cat.
One, it could be your through axle on the back, which mine is bent right now because I hammered it.
What exactly is the thraxle again?
It's the part that goes through your hub right in here.
Yeah.
It walks the tire and rim and components on it.
And if that is not tightened, is that
your wheel could potentially fall off.
Okay, what is the second cause of wobbly wheel?
These spokes right here could be loose. Mine aren't, but they can move like that. But they might be able to go like that.
Yep.
You don't want it to be like that, because if you're going off a jump, your rim could break, or it could mess it up.
Yep.
So I haven't had that happen to me.
Nope, definitely hasn't happened.
No. What? No. Oh. So what I like to do now is take my bike.
Yeah.
I like to just dropping it when you're trying to do that.
We would also recommend that you have somebody help you lifting and tipping the bike,
Yes.
because most bikes are very heavy. Is there any other things that you would do before you per se went on a bike ride or even a jump run?
Yes. First thing I would go over, if you have RockShox, they have this O-ring.
What exactly do RockShox do, Jake?
So they are a type of fork, a pretty high-end fork, I would say.
Do they absorb impact?
Yes. So
Okay.
if you're going over rocks and you don't have any suspension, your bike will just be bouncing. So to stay in control, your shocks help.
Would you recommend? What would happen if you went to say do a stunt trick somewhere without shocks?
It could be very painful.
Would it break the bike?
It could.
What could it break?
It could. Let's say it's like this tubing right here, and it was right here on your fork,
Yeah.
and there was no suspension. It could potentially break in half or crack that tube of metal. And before I like to go riding, I put on all my gear, like a hydration pack. And I like to get on the bike, maybe against a wall or something. I like to get on the bike. And if your O-ring, this red thing right here, and if it goes like this, like that, with all your weight on it, and then you get off, well, I would suggest if it's really far up like that, I would suggest putting air. So you'll notice on RockShox or other shocks, you'll have this little cap, and you unscrew it. Now, don't use like a pump for your tire. And if you do that, it's not good for the forks. And you know how on a tire you can press that little valve and it lets out air?
Yes, I do.
That's not good for it because there's, again, the special type of pump that does that.
Yes.
And once you're done with that, put the cap back on so no dirt or stuff gets in there. And if your shock is still like that, in this end, back over here, you'll notice this could fit a socket. And what you do is, with that special pump, you let out all the air, and then you get a wrench or socket, and you can undo that. And there's these things called volume reducers. Those just screw on. So as the air comes up, that blocks the air. So then there's more compression, I believe is the word, to help not make the shock bottom out where your O-ring is all the way up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a little tip. I learned by Seth. By Cat.
But I think that's going to be the last tip for today, unless you have an important one that we could fit in. Is there anything very important?
Yes.
Okay, we have time for one more. So what is this, Jake?
If you have a seat, it probably has a seat post.
Yeah.
Which of course mine is stuck.
Ah, yes, that's very convenient for us.
Can I have this real quick?
Yes, you can.
I would suggest using this, but
This is what we have at hand.
yeah, I don't want to go to the other side of the garage right now. well, the very messy garage.
Beep, 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 beep.
And your thing could have a seat post, which is this
Yes.
part right here.
Yeah.
Mine is a bit greasy, so
Is that good or bad?
it's good in some cases, but if it's this high, you go off a jump and you hit it in your butt, over time it's gonna go like this, and it's just gonna slide up and down. But it's good to have some oil on it, not a lot.
Okay.
And if your bike has one of these, I like to clean the inside to make sure it holds my seat posts down. And I just put it back on just like that. Up here at the seat, you'll notice these bolts. If those are not tight, there's this little thing right here that this piece sits in, and if that's not tight, your seat's just gonna move. And I don't think you want to be riding that with a seat that just goes like that. So I think that is it.
Okay, well, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you can. Any suggestions on other videos we can do would be amazing. And bike,
Oh,
jump,
one more thing.
stunt. Oh,
One
wait,
more
we have.
One last thing, sorry.
Okay.
Right here,
Let's do my outro.
and sorry. This thing, if you can press your fork like that,
Yep.
and then there's this little symbol with an arrow with a lock. If you turn that to lock,
Yep.
your suspension is not going to move. So I guess you could use that for if you like race a mountain bike on a road. That, or let's say you're going up a hill, you don't want your fork to compress a lot. That can slow you down sometimes. I'd put it to a lock position so that it doesn't do that.
Okay. Is that all? Can I continue with my outro?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Like, subscribe, drop a comment of anything that we should do. I know I'm repeating. But, as always, ride, jump, stunt.
Be safe.